Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Jeremy Bell, who's a defensive back out of Charleston of West Virginia. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's nice to have you on. I realize you've had a pretty busy, I guess postseason here. Unfortunately, you guys weren't able to really play this past season because they had canceled everything. Unfortunately, a lot of small schoolers are in the boat that you're in. But you made that decision to come out and actually declare for the draft, and you were in a couple of those All-Star events, which were great. But before we dive into all that, man, I think it'd be best to just kind of tell a little bit about yourself. Tell me first where you're from.
So I'm from Ackworth, Georgia, which is Cobb County area, about 35 minutes north of Atlanta.
Cool. And just kind of, tell me a little bit of that history. I mean, obviously you're just at Charleston right now, but I mean, just kind of walk me through your history and, just kind of bring us up to speed.
Okay. So I went to North Cobb High School and I graduated from there, and I was at Lenoir-Rhyne University, and I spent a year and a half there at Lenoir-Rhyne before then coming over to the University of Charleston. And that's where I finished my athletic career and graduated from.
Gotcha. And you figure, again, this year you were invited to a couple different All-Star events, one being the Tropical Bowl and the other being the College Gridiron Showcase. You want to share just a little bit about your experience at those two events?
First things foremost, it was a blessing to be able to attend both of those events and to be invited to both of those events, especially with some of the other events being canceled this year. I started off at the Tropical Bowl, and that was down in Florida, and Michael Cordy and his staff hosted that event. And it was just an amazing event. It was 3 days, full padded practices. And so it was a great opportunity to get out there and compete, especially not having a season. It was important for me to be able to showcase the improvements that I had made from last season, to be able to show just a more polished version of myself. And I was able to also show versatility out there. I was able to play corner, nickel corner, safety, and also provided a lot on special teams and all aspects of that. And being able to, meet with scouts and get my official measurements and things like that, that was just a huge plus. And after that, I went over to the CGS, and Mike Riddleman and Jose Jefferson, they hosted a great event there as well. Things are a little bit different because it was a combine, non-contact type drills, but another great opportunity to just showcase myself and be in front of another group of scouts, and the staff there was amazing. We had great seminars there. So overall, they were just both really fun experiences and gave me great opportunities to just put myself in a better position moving forward.
Cool. And so you had the opportunity to sit down with a handful of scouts, I assume?
Yeah, I met with a couple, and I also had questionnaires sent my way. So that was really fun, really exciting to be able to tell my family and friends about that I got a chance to meet with some NFL teams. So really a blessing, humbling experience at the same time, and just see how far we've come.
Cool. So, I mean, did any of those people give you any sort of weird, wacky question, or just kind of anything about those experiences that just kind of was off?
No, my questions were pretty straightforward. A lot were just about, who I am as a person, a little bit about my home life and my family and my learning style. So I didn't get any off the wall questions.
Gotcha. Well, I'll try my best not to give you any off the wall questions here. Yeah. So, of some of those teams that actually sat down with you, did any of them just really, were you excited to actually sit down with any particular team in particular, or, did you I know sometimes there are CFL scouts at the events too. Did any of those guys talk to you?
Yeah, I talked to a couple CFL teams as well. it was just a great opportunity to be able to talk to professional scouts and know that you're on these different teams' radar, whether it's a CFL or NFL, and know that you're doing the right things. And over these past those weeks that I shown some things to gain the interest of the scouts, which was important for me. I met with the Miami Dolphins, and my dad, he's a Dolphins fan, so that made his whole trip. He was happy to hear that for sure.
Nice. Well, I mean, hopefully one of those people will give you a call. I mean, I feel like somebody's going to give you the opportunity, maybe come out there, and hopefully make the team, man. I mean, I think it would be awesome to get that opportunity. But for the people that did not interview you, let's just kind of give them a little bit of your background. I mean, you told me that while you were at the Tropical Bowl, you had the opportunity to play a few different, positions there in the secondary. Tell me a little bit about your experience, throughout your career. What sort of defensive back have you been in your career?
So, at Charleston, I played mostly field corner, but also played a little bit in the boundary as well. Just, depending on some of the games and the situation down the distance and if we were in sub packages or not. But, I think we had one of the more diverse defensive schemes that you'll find in college. We did a good balance between man and zone coverage, and coach, gave me an opportunity to, use my IQ, especially in the zone coverages, and be able to diagnose the routes based off the formations and down and distance. And then also being able to show my skill set in man coverage, whether it be press man or off man. So I think I've been able to show, that I'm pretty balanced and versatile in the schemes. And I think that helped me a lot at the Tropical Bowl, because I was able to take some of those techniques that I was taught and use them when I lined up in the slot, and knowing where my help is at, so I can know how to play with my leverage. And then also when I was playing safety, just having the IQ to be able to understand, especially in that short period of time, because it's not like you're having that full week to watch another team's game film. You're basically kind of coming on the spot. So being able to just pick up just subtle clues to help me throughout those few days was beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, you get to go out there, maybe do some one-on-ones with, people that aren't small schoolers like yourself. I mean, you're able to go out there and, participate with people that, I don't know, maybe they were in some Power 5 school. So, I mean, you're able to say, you know what, I went up against one of those guys. I mean, during each of those experiences, was there any guys that you were able to, kind of link up with, or have those one-on-one moments with that were great for you?
Yeah, there were a lot of good players out there. We had some players from UAB and Western Virginia University, and I think maybe Texas State. And so we had a lot of good players out there. One of the guys I actually trained with here at Boost Performance, Myron Mitchell, he was at the Tropical Bowl with me as well. So we had some competitive matchups out there. He played at UAB. And so, for me, it was just a great opportunity to showcase that I can play and compete with the Division I kids and play at a high level. And so I think that's what I showed those 3 days out there.
Cool. I think that's great that you're able to go out there and, just kind of, compare you, a small schooler to some of these big school athletes, and show that you belong. I mean, that's really what they want to see out of a small school like you. So let's just kind of dive in a little bit more. And I wanted to see if you could give me, maybe an opportunity of whenever you did have time to study that opponent. Maybe give me an example of how that helped you on the field.
One game that I may use would probably be when we played Valparaiso. I had 2 interceptions that game. And, we watched a lot of film on them that week, a lot of film. Maybe I watched more film on them that week than we watched any other team the whole season. They were Division I school, so we were super excited about being to play, a D1 school. That was, I think, the first time we were played one in Charleston's history. And so, watched a lot of film, and I got out there and, I had an interception on a go route. And then later in the game, I settled down and read the route recognition. They kind of ran that spot concept a little bit, and I was able to jump the route and get an interception there just from watching the film and things that coaches had taught us throughout the week.
Great. You said that you were training out in Tennessee, right?
Yes, sir. I'm at Boost Performance in Nashville, Tennessee.
Cool. Yeah, definitely wanted to give them a shout out too, since you're since you're out there training. Um, but I try and ask this question occasionally to guys, and it's really, if you have the opportunity maybe to give your younger self, just a tidbit of advice, go back in time, maybe 18-year-old Jeremy, what sort of advice might you give him?
I'll probably tell myself at that age to trust the guidance and the foundation that my parents had gave me throughout my life. Because, looking back on that time, I was definitely young and impressionable. And, I didn't necessarily trust everything that my parents had taught me until I got older and realized that, they had put me on the right track to do all that I wanted to and all that I was called to do. So if I could have convinced myself of that when I was a little bit younger, I definitely think it would have brought me a long way for sure.
Gotcha. And tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, other than being a football player, maybe tell me what you did there at Charleston, what degree that you were able to obtain, or any other hobbies, talents that maybe not everybody knows. So share a little bit about yourself if you don't mind.
So I graduated at the University of Charleston in December. I graduated cum laude with the business administration degree. And outside of that side, I enjoy music. I play two different instruments. I play the piano and the viola, and I'm currently learning how to play the guitar. A lot of people at the school, we had a piano that was kind of outside the cap area. And so a lot of people see me playing that during my free time. I also like doing writing. So I'll write some poetry, spoken words, and I love outdoor activities. And being in West Virginia, you have the beautiful scenery out there in the mountains and the trails. And if I'm at home, I like to go bowling or maybe play pool, shoot pool with some of my friends.
Yeah, I've been out to West Virginia before, and there are a lot of spots out there where I can't get signal on my phone. So I mean, you have to, you definitely have to
Very
be
true.
able to, just sort of appreciate and love nature out there. I mean, there's a lot of good things out there, to do that are outdoors. Everyone's been stuck inside since this pandemic, so
Yeah,
being able to get outside and really enjoy that is certainly something that you can do out there in West Virginia. Um,
definitely.
so, hey, man, there have been a lot of people that have helped you along the way, that have gotten you where you are. Let's give a shout out to some of those people, whether it be family, friends, teammates, coaches. Who do we need to give some love to that have really meant a whole lot to you?
Well, first and foremost, it'd be my parents, my mom and dad, and my family. They've supported me through all of my life, and then even through the ups and downs I've had, they've always been right there by my side, and try to do everything they can to help me get to where I wanted to get to. And none of us ever lost faith or lost sight of what we were trying to accomplish. So those first and foremost. Then it would be my best friends and Keenan and Dominic. Those are two of my closest friends, and they've always supported me and helped me. We went to high school together, so we've kind of grown up and always been close. And also my trainer, Coach Jesse, he's been a big help in just buying into what I wanted to do and helping develop me as a corner and really help take my skill set to the next level. And then I'd also have to thank my Charleston coaching staff, from Coach Kirkland, who's my head coach and my position coach, to Coach Zach Johnson, who recruited me there, and all of the coaches there that helped just develop me as a player and as a man, and saw my potential and helped bring it out of me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of great athletes there, on that Charleston football team, and obviously a good recruiting, there, putting together a great team. And I know that you guys are able to compete with a lot of, with anybody really. So uh, I try and ask this next question to everybody, and it's really just that why question. Tell everybody why you play football.
Football has been my passion since a young age, and it's been something that I've enjoyed, and I have just a desire to always be on the field. And I love the process of getting better, the training process, the team bonding, the development, the ups and downs, that everything that comes together to help you become a great team and to win games and to win championships. And, I've always, even when I wasn't in school, you know, I had that desire to just continue to play and keep working hard for it. So it's just been something that I've wanted from a young age, and I'm just determined to make sure I make my dreams happen.
Great. And very last thing for you, Jeremy, is that pitch. I mean, you were able to visit and sit down with a whole lot of scouts at a couple different events. But maybe there are other teams out there that really need to know who you are, what you bring to the table. So I want to give you that opportunity to give them that pitch and tell them why they need to sign you and bring you into their organization. I mean, what sort of teammate would you be?
You know, you're looking for players to fit that 53-man roster, and that's not a big roster. So you need versatility and you need players that can play multiple positions. And I believe I fit that mold because I can play multiple positions in the secondary, but also have a desire to play on special teams. And that's something that's an important phase of the game. And so you're getting a player that can provide defensively, but also on special teams. In addition, you know, I'm a person that buys into the program. You know, whatever it is that's asked me, I'm going to be a part of, and I'm going to do it 100% wholeheartedly. Whatever the team motto is, you know, I'm 1,000% buy into it, and you know, believe it all the way till we see it to the end. And I think that's the type of player that you want to surround your other teammates with, and somebody that's going to buy in and do whatever it takes to help our team win.
Great. Well, I mean, I do feel like someone will give you that opportunity. Maybe a local team, maybe somebody that you met there at the at one of those events. But I do wish you best of luck moving forward, Jeremy. With anything and everything
Thank,
that you do. This has been great. Just kind of sitting down, chit chatting with you about everything.
thank,
Uh,
thank you for having.
so no problem, man. You're welcome. Again, this is Jeremy Bell, who's a defensive back out of Charleston, West Virginia. Definitely check him out.